All right, let's show you what I got. We're on our charts page, and we've limited it to CPU used by session. Let me just go ahead and reset that, and we'll kind of see how fast this is. You know, considering this is the free tier of Oracle, and I've done very little to optimize things, it's not doing too bad. I've got some caching ideas and things like that I want to try. So let's just go back to CPU used. We'll just hit return. And that is going to pull up how many charts? So a little slow at the moment, but it has been a lot snappier. Just trust me on that. And I'm sure as I optimize and get a little bit more server resources, it'll run even snappier. So here's our charts that match CPU used, and so I am going to click this one. That's going to open a modal in a drawer, and you can see those charts loaded really fast. So, and so these are like the individual charts. Now there's going to be a lot more information here, but what I'm trying to show you is the idea here is when you're looking at a chart and you see something you're interested in, and ideally you would only see interesting charts here, things that maybe you want to take a look at. And they might be, eventually we'll have some color coding, we're going to have tags and all kinds of cool stuff. Nobody had to make this dashboard. It's just looking at your data and presenting you with the charts. We don't need, bar charts and scatter plots and all that. We can do that. If we do it, we want to do it automatically. We don't want to spend hours configuring dashboards. That's just ridiculous. Let's assume I've got 1,000 applications here that I'm monitoring. I'm not going to configure dashboards even per application for application type. You know, even if there's 100 of one type, it's too much work, and it's too hard to maintain. We don't want to maintain it, right? We should be able to do this. So when we see something, say on our board here, and we want to know more about it, we click that. That gives us the specific context for this particular metric, and so what we're going to do is we're going to have a lot of charts here, and they'll be more informative than what you're seeing now. I'm not a big fan of putting 30 lines on a chart. I don't really think that helps. I'd rather have 30 charts. They're a lot easier to look at. So we have our CPU used. We can see this is hundredths, so this would rate per minute. So we're using about 20 seconds of CPU on, and it's dropped down recently. And our average historical value, this is what it deems as normal, and this may be based on all the data, it may be based on the data for the same day of the week using that, or it may be based on the same hour of the day. Eventually I'll have same day of week and hour of day, so you're getting very specific, like what's normal for now, and that's all automatic. Then we have this is the percentage of this, you know, so what is this as a percentage of this? And you can see we're below 100%, so we're kind of below average. That's cool. And then this is our percentile score. These little humps here were some sort of bug that I introduced into the system, and not sure how I fixed it, but it got fixed. I was digging around for it, and I did something. I think I just recompiled a view or something. So our percentile score, you know, if it's 100, that means like everything's up in the 90s as far as percentiles. And if it's in the zeros, everything's kind of like, these are the edges of the standard distribution. So we would want things to be kind of near normal, would be anywhere near the 50. So if you're imagining that kind of that shape of a standard distribution with a chart kind of going up and down like this, you know, and maybe there's a way to represent that a little better. But things are normal, percentiles wise. And then this is our percent score. Actually, yeah, I put that in the wrong place. So this is the score compared to our percentages, which you have a range of percentages things land in. I'll show you that down below. And if it's near 50, then it's all kind of in the normal range. And so this is, everything here is pretty much normal. So then we get down to things that we can tweak, and this will be, you know, things you can modify. Ideally, I'm probably going to move all these charts over to a sidebar and have the form here. So this is our metric level, the idea being that certain metrics are more important than others. And CPU used by this session is definitely a more important metric. And so we might say, this is a metric level 2. We would say, for now, the plan is higher is more important. And that will just help it make assessments in what you need to see. So there is the ability to change the metric level. And one of the ideas is this is going, when you're, let's say, tracking Oracle system statistics, there will be a built-in way of polling all the descriptions and presets for things like metric levels. So we'll go ahead and identify 20 or 30 statistics that we think, and by we, I would just say me and eventually others, we could debate. But there's physical reads, redo, archive logs generated, which is related to redo, writes, hard parsing, things like this that are, they're kind of the key things, first thing you'd want to know if something was going seriously wrong. So those would have a higher metric level. And so we'd be able to import some kind of, maybe from GitHub, you'd be able to say, import this data, and it would say, oh, I see you're monitoring Oracle system statistics. Would you like to, apply this profile? And it would basically, and do you want to apply one? Do you want to apply the levels? Do you want to apply the descriptions? Do you want to apply alerting? That kind of thing. So that's the idea there. The calculation type, this is obviously rate per minute, and that's set at the data set level. But if I wanted to generally display something different, I could put that here. And so I could say, no, for this one I want rate per hour, or I just want the delta. So you can kind of override what's happening at the data set. Calc eval, all these descriptions, by the way, are just default for now. This is all going to get a lot better to understand. Your calc eval is an evaluation string that you can use to change this. So I could change this to seconds. So instead of hundredths of a second, what we could just do is we could add a divide by 100 here, and then we would want to put in here seconds. And then when we display this next time, this would get converted. So this would be divided by 100, so it would be 20. And then it would say up here rate per minute, and it would say dash seconds. And so we would know that we've done some work to change that. And these are these buckets. These will probably be visually represented. And these are your percentile buckets. So this is for the current hour, which 3 is just, this must have been just rolling now. It's going to roll. So this has got about an hour's worth of data. You can see, so 3 of the stats ended up in the 100th percentile bucket, and 1 in the 70th, and 5 in the 0 percentile. So it's kind of jumping around as far as percentiles. Sometimes percentiles have really narrow ranges, so that isn't usually anything to freak out about. I see a lot of other products out there that kind of focus on that 90th percentile. Show me what's in the 90th percentile. It matters if it's happening a lot, but I'll have some way of showing this. And then these are the percentages, and these are the kind of ranges. So these range higher, go, and these are kind of some broad buckets that I kind of just made up from 0 to 100, and then 100 to 10,000 plus. And so here we can see that most of the stuff is in the 80th, is kind of normal, average. We had a couple times it was in the 240 plus percent of average range, but totally normal. And then we're going to build some kind of like grid crosstab stuff that's going to show all this. It's going to show it by month. I mean, there's going to be just a ton of information. Anybody looking at this page right here will know everything they need to know about CPU used by this session for this particular system. So that's kind of where we're at. I would like to know if there's a way, when you open this modal, I've got it in full size, but initially it opens like half size, or it can open, you can set it to open like to here, to a third. I would love a control there to go ahead and open it all the way and let the user decide what to do there. I don't think that exists. If anyone's figured that out with some jQuery or JavaScript, let me know. So that's what we've got. This is going to be a big work in progress. We're going to have a lot to do. We're just kind of filling out these little areas so that we can start to work with them. Notice I don't have any save buttons or anything like that yet, so that's all coming. So that's our chart density update. I'm pretty happy with where things are at the moment. All right, thanks for keeping up with this. Appreciate it.